Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 881 South Linden Street here in Cornelius. I describe everything as if you're standing in the street facing the front door of the home. Right now we are on the back side of the house, just outside the bathroom. There's your air conditioning unit there, and there's the bathroom window. So I've got a 4-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. We're going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water is running. We're going to zero out the foot counter here at the base of the cleanout. All right, transitioning to cast iron almost immediately upon access. Dip into a spot here with a bit of standing water and some debris. Feels like I'm kind of pushing some stuff to the line right now, so we'll see how this spot right here drains out at the end. Every time I go to pull the camera back, I've got a bunch of debris. We might just be pushing a bunch of junk to the pipe that's kind of creating the illusion of standing water. We'll see. Alright, so hitting the Y connection right here. So we're essentially Ying on to another line. So I'm not sure if this is some kind of shared line scenario in here. Oop. Into the dark abyss we just went there. That actually almost looked like a manhole there. Just a second. Yeah, whatever there is really, it looks like we're dropping down into a manhole or something of that nature. That's why it's so dark. It's a big cavernous area. I'm going to try and go locate here really quick while the line drains off. Rather unique, it remains cast iron all the way up to this point here. It's a rare thing to see that. Usually this area of home would have been concrete pipe almost immediately after, oh, maybe within 5 feet of dropping into the line. All right, no luck yet locating the camera. I think at the distance we are here, 65 feet is going to put us beyond the fence line. So we've got there's a Y connection right here. I'll see if I can locate here or not, but I'm still so close to where I was just at, I'm not sure I'll be able to hunt it down. But I am going to at least notate this on the report. Some of these neighborhoods in here allow for, sometimes they're privately maintained neighborhoods that allow for kind of a shared line scenario. I'm not entirely sure that's what it even is. But it's a Y connection, so it's entirely possible it's another home tying in there. Could also be a clean out. There's a lot of possibilities. Anyway, I'll notate the Y there at 63 feet. It's something I would check into just to make sure there's nothing about that the city doesn't like. Some places are trying to get rid of party lines. Some cities and municipalities don't care about them. It's kind of different everywhere you go. All right, still no luck here, but I appear to be picking up some kind of signal near the rear left corner of the property. There's some of the gunk my camera was busting up there. Alrighty. So what I was picking up at the rear left corner was just merely interference. It looks like I've been able to hone in on the signal. We are through the fence line in the neighbor's backyard to the right of this home. Again, that's from the orientation if you're standing in the street facing the front door of this house. So what I'm going to at least do here is I'll get some locates as the line goes through the fence line, just so you can get an idea of how things are routed. In fact, we're going to try and locate right here. This is also where a belly is dissipating off, is right here at about 46 feet. All right, and I can see the neighbors clean out here. Once I get back, we're still on the other side of the fence right now. So, accounting for that, that standing water there is actually quite minimal. I'm going to do a couple more toilet flushes, just to help clear some gunk up that was in the line here. Alright, just did a couple more toilet flushes to help clear some gunk out of this spot right here. So right around the 46-foot mark, approximately, the standing water dissipates out. So I'm going to kind of let the water settle back into place here for a moment. It's quite a short-lived belly. As you can see, right now my camera's kind of upside down. The top of the pipe is at the bottom of the screen. There is zero buildup there to speak of. No blockage evidence, anything like that. There was a little bit of debris sitting here, but it also looked like it may have been something like a wipe, something of that nature. You know, in an ideal world, I'd love there to be no belly there, but I'm also not really, there's not even enough stuff here to justify drain cleaning the sewer line. In my opinion, this is not a point right now where it needs repair work done. That's a spot like that is mostly an area that could potentially become an issue under abusive scenarios. So if someone's putting improper stuff down the line, wipes, paper towels, things of that nature. I'm going back and forth through here a couple more times just to make sure there's not some debris in the flow line still. It does not take very much in order to create the illusion of a belly or exaggerate very significant standing water into something that looks relatively significant. So, but the overwhelming majority of the belly is somewhere around the 1/16 to 1/4 inch of standing water mark, which is very minor. This is coming from someone who's done over 25,000 sewer scopes. You know, where I typically start to recommend repairs is once there's a static inch of standing water, that's with no water running at all, for a minimum of 5 feet. All that drains through there. I'm gonna get a locate where the line goes through the fence. All right, move things around a little bit while the camera was paused. So right here at about 29 feet approximately, we're about maybe a foot on this side of the fence line. So about half the sewer line or better is on the neighbor's side. And where I just look at the trajectory the line is taking here to get where it's going. Yeah, see, this is the kind of stuff that I think went down the line there. That's a wipe. That's what really hung up in that spot there and created that appearance of something more significant than you've got going on here. did a couple more toilet flushes there a moment ago. Let that drain through just to help clear any of that stuff out. My camera scraped loose. Yeah, it looks like there was some more debris that was sitting in the flow line that I was able to break loose there, because I just flushed the toilet. A couple reasons I did that was to clear debris out, but also to fill in any low spots that my camera sloshed out. You can see how minor that thing looks now. You've got maybe a 1/4 inch of water there. So again, not saying that a 1/4 inch of standing water can't potentially contribute to a blockage, but it's gonna require a bit of doing on the homeowner side to get there. And I don't recommend repairs on lines for the sake of being able to abuse them easier. You know, at worst, you've got about a 1/4 inch of water there from about 42 feet approximately to about 46 feet. So too minor, in my opinion, to require repairs. But from the looks of it, just based on where that Y connection is at and the locates I'm getting, the trajectory the line's running at, it looks like the line does a straight shot here, or it runs at a little bit of an angle, but it runs, you know, relatively straight through the fence line. And then about where you would think the line's going to turn to kind of head towards the rear fence line on that neighbor's side is lined up pretty nicely with where their sewer cleanout's at. So from the looks of it, this does appear to be some kind of party line. So I would check to see if that's any issue in this part of town. I don't know if it is or not off the top of my head, because you get some of these private neighborhoods in here. Yeah, all that stringy stuff there are cobwebs. You can see all the egg sacs in it. That's not roots there. But one thing you want to make sure you're not putting down the line, you can see how stubborn some of that stuff can be to break loose without something like a camera going through the pipe. Make sure flushable wipes, paper towels, any of that stuff is not going down the line. They have a hard enough time getting through modern plastic piping. Cast iron, because of that rougher texture it has, really snags that stuff up. So, and those little pieces of debris that we scraped loose had probably been there for a very, very long time. Likely years. I can tell by the way that you're starting to get a little bit of a jet black sewer sludge film that was forming in and around that bellied area. Whatever that debris was had been there for a very long time. It's common to see that, where you get even 1 or 2 wipes stuck in the flow line. Everything coming down the pipe runs into it, slows down, has to kind of migrate past it, and you'll often get a kind of a sewer sludge skiff there in that area. That stuff's all been busted loose. There's a couple other things in there, but they're all loosened up now. I'll go do a couple more flushes when I go back into the house, just to make sure that stuff starts moving along. But anyway, it's kind of just a general route. So there's your clean out. Again, that's the right side fence line as you face the front of this house from the street. Line runs at a little bit of an angle. Not quite 45 degrees, but close to it. If you go look over the fence line, about 30-something feet across the fence line there, you'll see a black ABS cleanout where the neighbor's line is. When you line all these things up, that's about where you would expect the Y connection. I think the line turns near the fence line to hit a main, and their line runs over and ties into that Y connection is my guess. Based on everything I see here, it makes sense and lines up that way. So I would check into that, make sure that that's all up to snuff, not a problem as far as configuration goes. But as far as flow goes, line has good flow to the main lateral. All the pipe we just scoped there, all of it appears to be intact, in fair condition for its age. Line is functioning properly at this time. Just check into the Y connection, make sure that's not an issue. And as far as the belly goes, all said and done, too minor in my opinion to require repairs. You've got about a 4-foot belly there with between a 1/16 and a 1/4 inch of standing water in it.